gold, silver, and our nation's transformation. Hey everyone, thank you for watching Yankee Stacking. This one's going to be a little bit of a rant. My wife wants me to get ready for our 4th of July company that's coming over, the party we're having. You know, I stack gold and silver not just out of a love for the beauty of precious metals, not just because they're real money or tangible wealth lacking third-party risk, or for savings, a hedge against inflation, an appreciating asset. No, those are all well and good, but that's not my main focus. As I open this box from SD Bullion, a phenomenal online bullion dealer that I enjoy purchasing my silver and gold from for a lot of reasons, I want to share with you my heart, okay, on this eve of Independence Day here in the United States. I want to stress with you the incredible importance of preparing for tough times ahead. Tough times that are, in my opinion, beyond anything you or I have ever witnessed. So don't stop watching this video. I know a lot of you are probably thinking, oh, this is going to be a downer. Come on, Yankee. I'm an optimist. What's all this doom and gloom you're talking about? Guys, I'm an optimist when it comes to things that are more personal and for which I can influence or have had a small level of control over. You know, like my faith, my health, my career, finances, marriage, and my children. Those things I feel like I can influence at the very least. However, when it comes to things that are more beyond my control, or I have limited control of, I'm a realist. Reality and the decisions made by others influence my outlook. And this hits home the most with our government and financial institutions. See, okay, here we go. Very nice. Wow. Around. I'm going to actually, let me pop this open for you. SD Bullion packaged it in a really nice coin capsule, but I'm going to pull it out and show you the detail on this House of Cards. It's the next in the Awakening series, right? The Awakening. You can't wake a person who is pretending to be asleep. Yes, this is the House of Cards. Very apropos for this video. We are in an economic house of cards. I love this round. Man, that is really chunky and beautiful. I'm going to just lay that down right here as I continue. All right, so like I said, in areas where I can't influence, I'm more of a realist. The transformations that have occurred in a span of a single generation have deeply changed my perspectives on life and our nation's future. Now, for those of you who are highly optimistic, even about things you have little control over or potentially have little insight into, this all may sound pessimistic to you. But it's not that I have no hope. It's that I have hope that is seasoned with a heavy dose of reality. And let me tell you about the reality that we live in. Since our nation's birth, we saw America as a land of liberty and great opportunity. It was a social experiment unlike any other. The power of patriotism and a limited role of government was sacrosanct. Since the 20th century, the century I grew up in, the way we viewed things, like the American dream, American exceptionalism, that was highly correlated with fundamental values of faith, family, privacy, personal responsibility, freedom. It flowed primarily from our founders' vision for our nation, the U.S. Constitution, and yes, I'm going to say it, our Judeo-Christian heritage. Between 1946 and 1956, our output of goods and services doubled, and then they doubled again by 1970. The largest investment made by the average American was and is a home. Well, they became mass-produced, very affordable, very comfortable. And by 1960, 62% of Americans owned their own homes. Since the 50s, consumerism and a suburban lifestyle became the organizing principles of our society. It was what we called the good life. But here's the twist, all right? The idea of what represented the American way of life, the basic comforts that we have, has been steadily moving, and it's been moving towards more and bigger. I know you know this. You're not gonna, if you're honest, you're gonna say, "Yep, you're absolutely right." Right? When it comes to your car, the conveniences, the technologies that we use, the homes themselves. They got larger kitchens. We've got media and exercise rooms. We've even got outdoor living rooms. Since the 1980s, the U.S. economy has been hopelessly consumption-based. That's our economy, a consumption-based, consumer-driven economy. Really, almost 3/4 of our economy is driven by consumer spending. There is a theory called the fourth turning. I don't know if you've heard about this before, but I've read about it. I find it incredibly fascinating. There's also this concept of the cyclical nature of societies. And it can be, best described, in my opinion, by a quote. It says, "Hard times create strong men. Strong men create good times. Good times create weak men. And weak men create hard times." In my opinion, we have entered that last stage of that cycle. Weak men creating hard times. Okay, we see this even in our financial institutions. Back in 2001, after the dot-com bubble burst, Alan Greenspan dipped his toe into the water of what is now called modern monetary theory. He didn't want to do it. He vowed he'd never do it, but he compromised under political and social pressures. Less than a decade later, then Fed Chairman Ben Bernanke sold his soul to the printing press in a way we had never witnessed before. Quantitative easing, zero interest rate policy entered our vernacular. And just over a decade after that, we ran into the next crisis. And we added grotesque fiscal stimulus, the likes that would make FDR blush. And we set the standard for future government overreach in the name of dubious health mandates. Now enter the latest insanity, Fed wokeism, where racial, environmental, potentially gender considerations will influence dictate future economic decisions. It's sheer lunacy. It represents yet another sea change in our nation's economic future. For decades, we have taken what is a beautiful, sparkling ocean liner of American exceptionalism. Yes, with some obvious human imperfections, I'll grant you that, but a beautiful ship. And then we gradually, yet systematically, gutted it with stupid Keynesian monetary theories and cancerous socialism. We keep throwing overboard what made this country great. Limited federal government, responsible fiscal spending, low taxes, minimal small business regulations, privacy, and of course, sound money. Now, I could go into all kinds of other areas of American exceptionalism that we have completely jettisoned. Moral, sexual, political, spiritual, familial, social areas that are all intertwined. But I won't. This society where each generation looks to the next generation with hope and optimism is dying fast. And I'm sorry if on the day before, Independence Day, this pains you to hear or even angers you. Feel free to vent your anger if you want to, kindly, of course, in the comments below. I'm celebrating the anniversary of our nation's independence tomorrow. We're going to have, I think, close to 15 people in my house. It's going to be a lot of fun. But with that enjoyment, that celebration, comes a reality that we need to face. In fact, I saw a recent survey this morning. How proud are you to be an American? I asked Mrs. Yankee that. She went, ooh, oh, well, yes, I'm proud. I'm proud to be American. Where else would you want to live? And I totally agreed. But our sentiments are sadly waning. It's getting harder to answer that positively, right? Guys, we are a fractured nation. We are a deeply, deeply divided nation. Yes, historians see parallels with, the New Deal era back in the 30s, the civil rights and Reconstruction time of the 50s, societal turmoil of the late 60s. That was a mess. But I've asked my parents, who lived through all of those times, what they thought and what they think now. And their answer? Nothing is like what we're going through now, son. They say it's more like 19th century slavery and seeing, America's union at risk. Guys, this is not hyperbole. I believe that's what we're facing, an existential threat to our union. And for those of you who are all stacked up and prepped up and exercising your Second Amendment rights and think, fine, okay, let it happen. Be careful. Think long and hard about what that really means. The vitriol, the hate, the incivility, the polarization, people moving from blue state to red or red to blue, and the possibility of a state seceding in the future. If that is what you think you want, be prepared to become a second or third world country. It's not going to be something you want to live in. And I think we're only beginning to see how bad this divide will become. Guys, gold and silver, it's not going to save you. Okay? Neither will any financial moves that you or I make. We do need to be wise in how we spend our money and how we save. Definitely, we need to be stacking silver and gold as a way to help us during the coming storm. But really, it's not going to save you. For those of you who have watched this video all the way to the end, thank you. I'm going to tell you, the only answer is ultimately found in truly loving God and loving others. Well, thank you so much for watching. I really do appreciate it. And to all my fellow Americans, I hope your 4th of July is A-OK.